Welcome to part 2 of internal monitoring using Child Plus. I'm going to go into Child Plus again, like we did before. Remember, it's the Grace Hale version, not Youth in Need. And I'm going to go ahead and sign in. And this time we're going to go in and we're going to go to that corrective action plan and actually enter our corrective actions that we need to do. So we're going to go again to Management, Internal Monitoring. And just as we did before, we need to make sure that we have the right due dates. We're going to go for the month of January 2015. And we're going to get the smaller list of reports so that we can select the right one. And as you remember, I was working on the program governance protocol. And I had done some of these monitoring results. Again, this is just a test case, and I did have one that was non-compliant. So I'm going to go in here, and here it is listed in the corrective action plan. I had given myself until January 30th to create the plan, and now I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm creating it. And you can see that this CAP status changed from when it had before it had said CAP creation coming due. Now that I'm going to create it, it says CAP items pending address. So it's not verified yet, but I am going to go ahead and I'm going to say that I have completed my corrective action plan, my corrective actions. And again, this is just pretend, so I'm saying the one that I was non-compliant for, I'm going to say establish policy to ensure representation on, I'm making this up totally, policy council, and I'm going to say elect new members. Totally made up. Just want to give us an idea of what it looks like to do a corrective action plan. All right. So that's what I'm going to do. If I wanted to, I could make additional notes, but that's all I'm going to do. So that's done. I'm going to save changes. Okay, and now it says my CAP items are all addressed. All right, so I can go ahead and close this. Now I want to go to reports and see what kind of reports I can get from the internal monitoring suite. The ones we're going to use most are the monitoring worksheet. We saw that before. That's the one that you print out when you want to go and print out a copy and make your notations by hand and then come back and enter the results. The other ones we're going to use are the monitoring results detail and the monitoring follow-up. So let's look at the monitoring results detail. We have to pick a single report that we're interested in, so let's stick with that program governance that we've been looking at. We want to look at the ones with a due date in January, and all of the rest of the check boxes you can pretty much leave alone and leave them as the default. I've pretty much set them as is, and there shouldn't be any reason to change any of those selections. We're going to go ahead and preview that report. So what it does is it takes all of the monitoring results and shows where we've entered compliant or non-compliant. And again, I only had done part of this, so it doesn't show everything. So periodically, at the end of every month, we're going to be printing out these reports to see where we had not completed sections or where we had compliant or non-compliant issues. And if there's a CAP status, as there was with this one, we can see that that has been addressed. Go ahead ahead and close that one. In this case, what we want to do is we want to go to the monitoring follow-up report, the 8030, and we want to highlight all of the reports that we're interested in, all of our monthly reports. So I've got all of the 14 OHS protocols and the 15 OHS protocols checked. I include all locations. We can click all staff because it's just going to show us our Southside staff. And in this case, we want to leave these blank. We want to capture all the information, not limit it to scheduled follow-ups. We want to see all of the follow-ups. And then when we go to preview, we can see, and again, these are just ones that I've been fooling around with. So on the OHS protocol management systems that I was fooling around with earlier, monitoring status is completed, and I do have a CAP creation coming due, so I want to make sure that I get that corrective action plan taken care of. And in the one that was our example where I completed the corrective action plan, you can see that the CAP items are all addressed. So this is just, we're going to use this as a monthly summary, and it will show us which reports were due and scheduled, if they were actually completed, their monitoring status, and whether any CAP status exists, and what the follow-up is that's required. I'll go ahead and close that one. And then the last report that's helpful is the monitoring activity. And again, we're going to click all of our reports. I don't know if we're using sanitation. We're going to go ahead and this time we are going to look at monitorings just for this month. Otherwise, we're going to get a big report. All monitorings in the date range. And we're going to go ahead and preview that. And again, now we see all scheduled and completed monitoring reports, whether they've actually been done, and who the monitoring responsible party is. And these compliances are low because I didn't actually complete them all. So again, a couple of ways to look at our monthly activity to make sure that we're meeting our goals. And that pretty much sums up the reports and part 2 of internal monitoring using Child Plus.